So this is something that I think maybe isn't really worth talking about, but I do think that at some point down the line, this may be a conversation that becomes more important than it seems to be today. And what I'm really trying to indicate with that intro is essentially this topic, Michael Hage and the Montreal Canadiens, it ain't really a problem. At least, not right now. But instead of talking about what is right now, let's talk about what could be. Because what I wanted to explore was an idea that goes out there and compares Montreal Canadiens prospect Michael Hage to current Canadiens defenseman Lane Hutson. And an idea that compares and contrasts how these two guys have gone about their introductory NHL contracts. We'll open this video up by acknowledging a truth about the Canadiens and Lane Hutson at the moment. It's the fact that this guy is on one of the best contracts in the NHL, if not the best contract in the NHL. Lane Hutson is 22 years old, he just put up 78 points in 82 games, and he's signed for the next 8 years, making $8.85 million a year. Are you kidding me? Lane Hutson is making $10 million a year less than Macklin Celebrini? And Celebrini ain't even going till 2034, he's going till 2031, 2032? Wow, what a crazy deal this has been for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, this is the interesting part about the Canadiens' contract with Lane Hutson. It's the fact that this deal was signed a year ago. October 13th, 2025 is when Lane Hutson signed his contract extension with the Habs worth $18.8 million per year. This was way before we started to see this capflation going on around the NHL. When Lane Hutson signed his deal, we didn't see Leo Carlson get $18 million yet. We didn't see Celebrini, Bedard get 15, 18 point whatever million. We didn't see Pavel Dorofeyev get 11. We didn't see other wingers, Kyle Connor, Kempe, Tuck, get 8 digits plus. Heck, we were still thinking about, okay, well, Quinn Hughes is making 7 point something, Cale Makar's making 9 something, Lane Hutson's making 8 point whatever. That's like around the same range. But this is a great contract, right? Because it goes till 2034. Guess what? Just 1 year later, now Bowen Byram is making 12.5. Leon Draisaitl, Matthews, these guys are old news. Now it's the new generation of NHL players who are making money. And Lane Hutson, because he signed his contract almost a calendar year ago, is not going to really get that much money compared to those other guys. Which leads us to Michael Hage, and an article that was posted on HabsFanatics.com by Gabriel Sammy that discusses how Hage's latest decision could cost the Montreal Canadiens dearly, depending on what happens. Take a look at what this article says. As you know, Montreal Canadiens prospect Michael Hage had changed his plans. He ultimately decided to delay his immediate arrival with the Canadiens partly because of an injury. An injury that could prove costly for Kent Hughes in every sense of the word. Let us explain. Now, let's give the context here first. Michael Hage, a lot of us thought he would be coming over to the Montreal Canadiens by the time he finished up his sophomore year in Michigan. 52 points, 39 games, 2 points per game at the World Juniors, all at the ripe old age of 19 years old. There was a second-line center spot waiting for Michael Hage in Montreal. In April, he just decided, okay, I'm going to play. I'm going to sign, I'm going to play, I'm going to come into the playoffs, and I'm going to help the Montreal Canadiens as they make the third round. He had the opportunity to do that, but he said, actually, you know what? I want to go back. I want to go back to the Wolverines. I want to play with my brother. I want to win a national championship. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay, great. That's amazing. Having aspirations is never a bad thing, but let's talk about how this may affect the Montreal Canadiens. Michael Hage won't play for the Habs this season. A spring injury delayed his move to the pro ranks by a full year. The Canadiens were ready to offer him a contract last spring. He ultimately chose to remain in the NCAA for the upcoming year, and that decision has a direct consequence. His arrival with the Canadiens, and therefore the timeline for his second NHL contract, have both been pushed back by 1 year. Instead of being eligible to sign a contract extension in the summer of 2027, he'll have to wait until 2028. That difference may seem minor, but it matters. With salaries continuing to rise, every passing year benefits young players who perform well. And Michael Hage's year-long delay could reshape the second contract he gets after his ELC. Anthony Desaulniers raised an interesting comparison on Twitter. Burning a year off of his entry-level contract ultimately helped the Canadiens in Lane Hutson's case. Hutson spent 2 years in the NCAA instead of 3, and the result? Kent Hughes was able to sign him at the ideal time, October 2025. Take a look at this. Just imagine for a second, if Lane Hutson did not play those 2 games against Detroit in 2024 and only became eligible for a contract extension this summer compared to last, after 2 seasons with 66 and 78 points, how much would he have signed for then? This is a really great point to bring up. The fact that Lane Hutson debuted with the Montreal Canadiens and played 2 games at the end of the 2024 season, it allowed the Canadiens the opportunity to fast-track his second-year extension eligibility, and it allowed that window to open up in the summer of 2025 rather than the summer of 2026. An opportunity that Kent Hughes took advantage of and signed Lane Hutson within just a few months into that window opening period. For Michael Hage, you can say the opposite. If Michael Hage signed a contract to play with the Canadiens at the end of the 2026 season, it would mean that by the time the 2027 summer comes along, he would be eligible for an extension then. But now, because he delayed it a year, his second deal won't be available until the 2028 summer, which would, of course, mean that the second contract that he is on would start in 2029-2030. That's how it works. You can sign contract extensions a year before the current contract is set to expire, and for Michael Hage, depending on how well he performs in the National Hockey League level, right off the bat, this could be a pretty costly situation for the Montreal Canadiens. Lane Hutson was a cost-cutting situation because he played those 2 games at the end of the 2024 year. If Hutson had just waited and he didn't play this season, this technically counted. And this technically pulled Hutson's extension eligibility back a little bit. If Lane Hutson just did not sign at the end of 2024 and he only played at the beginning 2024-2025, then Lane Hutson wouldn't have been able to sign this extension a year ago. He would be able to sign again now. If he got $8.85 million after just 1 season at 66 points in 82 games, how much money could he be getting now? With 78 points in 82 games in his second year, no sophomore slump to be heard of, and with Bowen freaking Byram making 12.5. Lane Hutson could realistically have gotten 15 if he had signed his contract today. 16, 17, 20 even. If Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes go out there and get 20 plus, there's no reason Lane Hutson couldn't reasonably be in that territory as well. So I say this. Is this a precarious situation for the Montreal Canadiens and Michael Hage? Is this only worrisome because we think Michael Hage can be good? Obviously, not everybody can be Lane Hutson, but is Michael Hage going to have that kind of value impact on the Canadiens too? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do the monetary implications of Michael Hage's future affect the Canadiens in your mind? How do you feel about all this? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.